Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Alexandria. I am an American living in France and it is Halloween. And things are celebrated a little bit differently than what I'm used to back in USA. In France, it's all about dark stuff. It's all about witches and bats and anything that's related to dark. And dressing up as fairy princesses or Disney characters or anything along those. Anything else is saved for Carnival, Carnaval, which is Mardi Gras. So Halloween is strictly creepy, haunting stuff. And the other thing I would say that's different is the type of candy that everybody distributes. I say everybody. It's not everybody. For example, I lived on a street that had almost every single house had kids at one point, and maybe a third of the houses will give candy out. The other ones are either not home because it's in the middle of vacation. The kids have barely been in school and they're already on vacation. The difference between the candy is in USA, or at least in Texas, or at least the house that I lived in, a lot of the candy was chocolate. You had Mars, Kit Kats, and things like that. But in France, you get little packages of little candies that also don't have names. This is a special Halloween candy. Or you get some other stuff like this. All of this is just sugar. None of it is chocolate. It's 100% sugar and gelatin and stuff like that. No chocolate at all. I've never seen anybody give out chocolate except for one time. And it was only because that lady was surprised that somebody came to her door because she didn't even know it was Halloween. And she was like, I only have a Mars bar. And we were like, we'll take it. If you're offering, we'll take it. And so she gave my stepson a Mars bar. And he was ecstatic. He was so happy. Which, understandable. But that's another thing that people, you can knock on their door on Halloween and they'll just kind of look at you like you're crazy because they weren't expecting people to knock on their door that night. So they have nothing. A lot of the times, people aren't prepared. One, they'll either not open their door. Two, they'll just keep their gates closed. And it's not like in USA where the gates are on the side of the house. Or again, like in Texas. The gates are on the side of the house so you can walk directly up to the door. But in France, it's not the case. You have to actually have the gate open or you ring the bell on the outside like you're still on the street. You're on the street, you're on the sidewalk, and you ring the bell. And if they open their door, then hey, maybe you're going to get some candy. But vast majority of the time, you're not going to get anything. Nobody's going to come to the gate. Nobody's going to even open their door. You can see the light on in the house. They're not coming to the door. They're not coming to the door. They have nothing. What was really funny was the first time we moved to this house, my husband, he was gone. I had been in France for maybe 6 or 7 years. And only once had we had somebody come to our front door, but it was different. We lived in an apartment, and here we lived in a house with tons of kids in the street. And so I'm over here. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm all alone. My husband is on the other side of the world. I think he was in China at that point. If I remember correctly, he was in China. And I'm in a new house. We moved in maybe 3 weeks ago. I have the TV on. I'm watching a semi-kiddie, semi-scary movie. And I'm not expecting anybody to come to the door, but I did buy candy. I bought the candy more as a tradition, thinking that I was probably going to eat it. Or I would share with my husband when he returned from wherever he was. And I have candles on. I set the mood to be kind of spooky. And then all of a sudden my doorbell rings. And I hear kids on the outside say, un bonbon, sir. And I'm like, what? No. And so I like rip off the covers that I had because I was getting comfortable in the couch and I was ready. I rip them off. I go to the door. I open the door and there's 10 kids. And they're all dressed in dark black outfits. All of them. Even the little bitty 4-year-old. They were all dressed in black outfits. And I could not believe what I was seeing. I grabbed the small bowl of candy that I had and I gave them one each, thinking most likely this is going to be the only group I see tonight. I think I actually ended up giving them 2 each. And I was like, okay, have a nice night. Great. I close the door and I text my husband right away. And I'm like, people actually came to the door. People came to the door. It's just like in USA. Oh, I'm so happy because I was happy because I finally got to get Halloween back in a way. Like I wasn't participating, but I was able to go to the door and give candy out and I was so happy about it. And I lock the door. I get back under the covers. I'm watching this video on my couch, just, chilling. And not 5 minutes later, my doorbell rings again. I am shocked. I cannot believe anybody came to my door on Halloween because it wasn't typical. I had been here for a while and it almost never happened. Never had it happen that it was twice in the same night. And so I get to the door and there's like 6 kids. I can't believe my eyes. So I give them all one candy. I see the moms on the street. I'm like waving to the moms. Like, okay, have a nice night. Yeah, bye. I close the door. I lock it. And then I'm like, 16 kids came to the house. I cannot believe my eyes. I get back and I text my husband again. I'm like, 6 more kids came to the house. And he's not answering because he's busy. Because, again, other side of the world. Or he was sleeping. Maybe he was sleeping already. I don't remember. But I, not thinking anybody's coming. It's getting kind of late. It's like, it's pretty late. I get back in. Maybe 20 or so minutes pass by. And then more kids arrive. And this happened so much that I counted them. And I got to the number around 50 kids. And when the last 4 kids came to the door, it was a relatively older child, maybe in her early teens. And she was with her 3 younger siblings. And I had nothing. I had 0 candy. I didn't even eat the candy and I had no candy. And I could not believe my eyes because it had never happened before. I look at her and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't have any candy. But wait, I'm pretty sure I have cookies in the house somewhere. Let me go see what I have. And she was like, okay. And so they just stayed there while I rushed to the back kitchen and I opened my cupboards and I'm just like, what do I got? What do I have? Oh, what do I have? And I found these Oreo packages and there were 2 cookies in each package and I had 2 packages and I was so happy. 4 kids, 4 cookies. I rushed back to the door and I looked at the older one because, she was the one who's going to be having to deal with everything. And I told her, I said, there are 2 cookies in each package. Here, divide them however you want. And I didn't know if they were going to be happy or not because it's not candy. And all 4 of them, well, not the little one, but the other 3, they were all like, wow, Oreo cookies. Oh, we're so happy. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't have any candy. You're just going to have to make do with the cookies. And I know it's not normal to give out cookies, but actually in France, they'll give you whatever. They don't even care. Like, they don't have any rules set up like I did in USA. In USA, it was very strict. It was very, very strict. I remember one time we had to x-ray our candy. You're not allowed to eat open packages. You're not allowed to take cooked foods or baked goods or anything like that. And so you're definitely not allowed to eat cookies and stuff. It's just candy, and candy that has not been opened. And like, there are rules. And as somebody who grew up in USA, I know the rules. If the light's on, you're allowed to go to their door and knock on their door. If they have decorations, most likely you're allowed to go to their door and get candy. If, there's rules that we all follow. And to be safe on the street, you have like glow in the dark sticks and everything like that. Like, there's things that are basically set in stone for me. And then when I got to France, they're all toppled on their heads and none of it is the same. The decorations, maybe they'll be there, maybe they won't. I know a lady, she gives candy every single year. Every single year she gives candy. She does not decorate her house. She doesn't open her gate. She doesn't decorate her house. But she gives candy every single year. But she doesn't decorate her house. And nobody really decorates. Maybe somebody will put a pumpkin outside. I saw one pumpkin in the street. There's one pumpkin in the street. We have our candy bowl ready and waiting for the children to arrive on Halloween. We have yet to decorate because it's been so windy that I haven't put anything outside. And my kids have just received their costumes and they're both going to be dressed in black. And I try to tell them, you don't have to dress spooky. Like, you can dress however you want. It's Halloween. It's not necessary to be like to dress in black. But since everybody else does it, my kids do it too. So I'm happy that I get to experience Halloween again. I am so happy to be able to open the doors again, to give out candy and just interact with the neighbors that I almost never see because it's getting cold and nobody's outside anymore. But I am kind of nostalgic for back in the day when the little kids would come with their cute little outfits, or twins would come with like matching outfits, and you're just like, oh, what are you? And oh, you're so cute. What is this outfit? Oh, are you a dinosaur? Oh, this and that, like cutesy stuff. And all I get now is I open the door and it's just all black. It's just all black. All of it's black. And I'm just so like, I'm happy to have Halloween again. But it's just all dark. Everybody's in dark clothes, masks, blood, and like gory stuff. Like, and I just kind of upset about that, but it's fine. I guess it's fine. Also, Halloween is really a children's day, whereas in USA, it's not only for the children. Like, my husband and I lived in Atlanta for 5 months, and we lived there during October, and we went to like a block party where all the bars were open and all this other stuff, and it was so different. I had only experienced Halloween in USA as a child or even as an adult, but I was taking care of children because I'm the big sister. And so I had little kids following me. So I didn't have like an adult experience with Halloween. And this was the first time I ever did that. And wow, sometimes people, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, there were some people who were dressed like they were ready for Comic-Con. Like, full decked out makeup. There was like a Maleficent lady. She was super well dressed. And then you had a lady who was in lingerie with bunny ears and a bunny's tail. And she was just like, oh, okay. Oh, she must be cold. Whew, she must be cold. And you never see that in France. Like, never. Because it's a children's holiday. getting dressed up and having parties and whatnot. Those children's holidays. And so, yeah, it's just kind of a very stark contrast between the two countries. Is really like the adults getting into it, but also the disguisements, the difference in variation of costumes. Like my kids are going to be black cats for Halloween. Like that's just black cats. And so yeah, and we're probably going to get home with the same candy that I'm giving out, which is like these little creamy things, some lollipops, and little bags of gelatin. It's sugar. It's just sugar. It's just sugar. There's no chocolate. There's no, like, there was always, when I was back in USA, there was always that house that was the good house to hit, like the one that gave you the good stuff. They gave you the big chocolate. Or sometimes when people didn't have enough, they would give you money. Like anything to not give you opened goods. Like definitely not. Whereas in France, I've seen people, well, they'll open up a bag of candy and they'll stick their hand in it and then they'll just give you that. And these are not wrapped candies. It's not wrapped. None of it's wrapped. And I kind of looked at my kids and I'm like, oh, please don't eat that. Like, I'm pretty sure it's okay. These people live in my street. No, they're not going to do anything. I know it, but it goes against my principles as an American of all the rules that I've learned as a child. It goes against all of it. And so, yeah, those are just a few differences of Halloween in France. And on Friday, it's already Friday for y'all, but for me, it's not yet there. We're actually going to take a little girl who's 7 years old out to go trick-or-treating, and she's never gone trick-or-treating before. And when her mom told me, I was like, she's 7. She's 7 years old, and she's never gone trick-or-treating. She's like, yeah, we just don't do the holiday. I was like, but have a nice day. Happy Halloween. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.